Welcome to the GameRamble video review for Abzu, narrated by me, Dark Cloud. As always, the full text version of this review can be found on the GameRamble website linked below. The TLDR for Abzu is that it allows players to descend into the heart of the ocean without worrying about things like oxygen or predators. It's a tranquil experience with beautiful visuals that left us eager to see each new environment. Everything from the art to the soundtrack is superb, but the gameplay could be a bit too shallow for action fans. The entire experience is also over way too soon, but if you get hooked, you'll love every second of it. Gameplay receives a 9 out of 10. Abzu is mostly about swimming around and observing your surroundings. Graphics receives a 9 out of 10. The art style for the game is beautiful and each scene is filled with color and life. The sound receives a 9 out of 10. The soundtrack and sound effects are a perfect match for the tranquil setting and gameplay. The overall score for Abzu is 9 out of 10. And now for the full review. Numerous nature documentaries have taught us that the ocean can be a beautiful place filled with life and wonder. It has also taught us that the sea is home to sharks and other things with many teeth and giant appetites, so we prefer observing it in nature documentaries instead of first-hand. Unfortunately, nature documentaries are not very interactive, so we are thankful that games like Abzu exists. It's a wonderful immersive underwater adventure by Giant Squid Studios, which comprises staff members who previously worked on Journey. Of course, this means that Abzu shares some similarities with That Game Company Classic, but it's also very much its own game. Abzu opens with a player character, an unnamed diver, who wakes up floating in the ocean. Players can immediately dive down into the water and begin exploring their vibrant surroundings. Apart from things with teeth, our other primary concern with diving is the inability to breathe down in the depths without an oxygen tank, but this is something that you don't need to worry about in Abzu. The reason why the diver can swim around unrestricted by the need for oxygen is revealed later in the game, along with their lack of fear when faced with ocean predators. In fact, Abzu prefers the mysterious storytelling route when it comes to unveiling its plot, which means players will have to figure out most of it themselves. Since there isn't a single line of dialogue in the entire game, it also means that the whole thing is very much open to interpretation. One thing about which there is no doubt is the fact that Abzu is a beautiful game. Instead of a hyper-realistic look, the game features a stylized look at the world beneath the waves. Should come as no surprise that the game also bears more than a passing resemblance to Journey. Each scene in the game is just bursting with color and life, so there are plenty of times when we just stopped and stared at everything around us. The game even features specific meditation spots where you can relinquish control of your character and let the camera follow around the other oceanic life forms as they go about their business. Abzu not only includes tons of different species, but the way in which they move about is also wonderful to behold. Even the schools of fish you encounter procedurally respond to you as well as each other and whatever predators may be lurking in their vicinity. You'll also find that as the fish you encounter become larger and more exotic, you can grab hold of them and hang on for a joyride. Breaching the ocean on the back of a giant blue whale is definitely one of our favorite moments in any game, but Abzu is filled with moments like this. Whether petting a great white shark or coming face to face with a giant squid, the game is incredible to behold. It's also filled with minor touches, such as your flippers kicking up clouds of sand as you swim close to the ocean floor, or the way the kelp sways in the currents. From a visual standpoint alone, Abzu is not a game you'll want to rush through. While Abzu is wonderful to look at, its gameplay might not appeal to everyone, especially those who can't stay awake without plenty of action. Since your diver has nothing to fear from any other fish, there is no combat in the game, and the closest thing to action is avoiding a few proximity mines on later levels. For the rest, you'll swim along peacefully, hitch rides with a friendly fish, or get swept up in the ocean currents that transport you from one area to the next. Where you must go next is always obvious, but you can explore a little off the beaten track to find secret shells, release fish from hidden pools, and uncover all of the meditation statues. Performing these actions is highly recommended, as the game itself is very short and can easily be completed in 2 hours. Abzu does feature a few puzzles here and there, but nothing that could be called taxing. Along with turning mechanisms for opening certain gates, you also need to find small underwater rovers to assist you with barriers. The store page for Abzu strongly recommends a controller to play the game, and while it isn't strictly necessary, we agree that analog controls feels more natural when swimming around. Holding down the right trigger causes your diver to swim in the direction you're pointed, and you can give them a quick boost with the tap of a button. There's also a button for grabbing onto passing marine life, and one for performing a neat roll. The lack of health bars, oxygen timers, scores, or objectives means that the user interface for Abzu is entirely clutter-free. While this might make it feel shallow and boring to thrill seekers, we thoroughly enjoyed every second we spent with the game, and completing it was bittersweet. Abzu's stunning visuals and relaxing gameplay are enhanced by its atmospheric soundtrack, courtesy of Austin Wintory, who also worked on Journey. The music is dynamic to make everything more immersive and reacts to what is happening on screen. The soundtrack also makes good use of instruments not commonly heard in games to complement Abzu's visual style and theme. The sound effects are equally good and really help to draw players deeper into the underwater experience. Overall, we enjoyed playing Abzu, even though we wish the experience was a little longer. We do not doubt that some players will see the game as a glorified interactive aquarium due to lack of action, and the storytelling method will also not appeal to everyone. Abzu is definitely a more laid-back experience, but descending into the heart of the ocean offers a great break from the frantic pace of life in other games. If you enjoy titles such as Journey and Flower, Abzu should be very high on your wish list. It's a truly unique game and definitely something that proves that games can also be art. Thanks for joining me for this Abzu PC review. Remember to like, subscribe and share. Until next time.